That's the word, redundant. Okay, yeah, okay. So I finished the when you go back to your dream. So now you got the two ways. If you're lost in the world, I broke that down. You be lost in the one, two, and third dimension. Shit move real slow. It's like slow vibrational and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, if you get into a fight, it's hard for you to swing back, and that's or you might be getting chased. It's hard for you to run. Or you might be getting chased and you might manifest other chakras in you that's ahead of you that might manifest in your dream that look like people that you know in your wake life in the one, two, and third dimension. And let's say y'all all getting chased and they might be ahead of you and shit, but you can't catch up to them and you feel like you gonna get caught. You manifesting all kind of low vibrational energies because spiritually you're in the heavy part of the water cycle. This is the heavy part of the water cycle in the one, two, and third dimension. This water cycle heavy. So as a spirit, just being in a mental spaceship that you ain't even letting that rest and you just letting the body rest, it moved the actual way the water move. You're in actual life. Because all of these is just actual life. But as a spirit, you're not supposed to be in the one, two, and third dimension, but you can choose to because you choose desires. Being lost in the world. So it moves slow, it's low vibrational. Now it could be hellistic moments or extremely exciting. Yeah, y'all hit that flight button too. Cause y'all know I be getting shadow banned. They be playing with the numbers and shit. And for the most part, it can play out as exciting. Now, exciting is you extremely get ready to do something you want to do. But as soon as you get ready to do it, you wake up. Because everything in this world is made out of the light. When the fusion and friction, our thoughts and feelings come together, the water cycles come together and produce light. That light accumulate and bend in on itself and become the material. The wind, the air, the waters, the material, the flesh, the fluid. So all things we make out of these things. When you're lost in the world, you may see these as images of the things we made out of our mind. That's low vibrational also. Shit like money, your favorite car you wanted to get in, or something you actually wanted to do, or somebody you actually wanted to fuck, or something like that. As soon as you get ready to do it, it seems like it's hard for you to grab the money. It seemed like it's hard for you to get down and actually do it. It seemed like it's hard for you to actually get in that car and actually speed off, or before it changed into a bike or something like that. And then you get ready to wake up. You went back into the light. That's an example of going into the light. This how you actually motherfucking what they call that lucid dream. Where lucid dream technically means you're not actually asleep. You're just in a deep daydream. But for the most part, when you actually know how to control your dream, it ain't like you controlling it like your wake life, but you are still aware. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's how you know you in a state where all you did when you went to sleep was rest this body, and you went into your solar plexus and float around like some Zachariah Sitz and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you was a light. It's always nighttime because we always in a collection of body of water, all the lights together. So you're floating around, just making a whole bunch of images of this world, but it's in reverse. And you try to fly through it so you could go through walls and shit like that, but everything is in reverse, and it's slow too because you're witnessing the actuality of it. Now, the other one is when you let your mind rest and your body rest. Sometimes you just be in peace, right? You're not sparking no light and things of that nature, no charges. Or sometimes you go to your temple, right? Because you're trying to remind yourself something you did in a previous lifetime, or remind yourself of a space that you are in currently that you might need to get out of, or there's a message there. So you go back to your temple, your household. So as a spirit, when you go back in your house, you ain't got no light. You just naked, floating around in your little box, your little parameter. And then you have to make a parameter and shit like that around you, which is a light, a halo. But inside of it, you ain't got no thought or feeling. You just naked. So for the most part, here's the thing. When you're floating around, then you start developing little thoughts and feelings. But they don't play out as your body when you go to that dream. It play out as objects you're building in your house. In your house, and all of that itself end up being like a body itself. But it's just like the purest form of it. Before you get lost in all your second comings, your only begotten sons and daughters and shit, and your rivers and seas. This is the platform of it. Now, when you forgot a lot of things, you go back into one room. And then it's always going to play out as you having this feeling of being late. And that late means you're late to build the rest of the house so you could jump off the porch so you can start participating into either building a world, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension to bring it to the one, two, and third dimension, or being able to control the one, two, and third dimension without letting it slow you down because you're actually on a God's mission. Now, pardon me. Once you start to build the one room, right, you're going to start to go into the hallway. Then you're going to start to get familiar. Sometimes before you even go downstairs, you go to the attic or you might go to the roof and shit like that. Now, once you start to build the house, the whole process, right? And then start to build in the missing steps, because a lot of y'all who live chaotic lives, y'all may have dreams about going to an abandoned house or having a friend or going somewhere and the house is discombobulated. It's some rooms you can't go in. It's some stairs that's missing and stuff like that, but you're still looking at it as normal. Sometimes it'd be apartment complexes or whatever like that. No, all of those are your temple. It's just you're not building your house and you don't know you're doing it. You don't know that's what you're supposed to do. So your house is just left vacant, abandoned. So even when you play out in your wake life, you are more acceptable to creating vulnerable situations for your life, getting taken advantage of, not seeing the whole situation from the full scenario, right? But once you start to notice, now you'll start to have grips. And when you'll start to go there more than being lost down here. And then when you go there, you'll start to realize once you built the whole house and then jump off the porch, jumping off the porch is coming into the one, two, and third dimension just with more control. And knowing where you at now and knowing when you actually in the world, what house you just left from. Then you're going to start having repeating dreams where the dreams ain't the same, but it's always the same scenario. Same way like how you know where your house and shit at here, you know where your house at there. It's like everything become familiar, right? Then once it start to become familiar, now you can start interacting with other spirits and shit like that where y'all share dreams. Not like me and you will be in each other's dream, like where we can know, oh, we in each other's dreams now. What happened is we're sharing desires. So you may have a dream. I'm about to make a hypothetical. You might have a dream where you're at a concert. I might have a dream next week or next month or something like that. Now, me and you ain't talk about it. But then I might have a dream where I was at a concert or I'm going to a concert, right? Then let's say we start having discussions about dreams and then that end up being a synchronicity. You said, because the spiritual time is different than the physical time. So we slept different days, different weeks down here, but spiritually it's different. We can't look at it the way we look at it down here. See what I'm saying? So that'd be our only way by using it with spirit science to help us understand it. So let's say, yeah, I had a dream and I was at a concert, but I can't remember who I was with. I just know I was with somebody. And then I'd be like, damn, I just had a dream yesterday. I was at a concert and shit like that. I ain't know who I was with. I knew I was talking to somebody. Boom. In the spirit world, that was one day, which it ain't really considered days. It's just experiences. And we was in the same location as spirits. In the one, two, and third dimension, it played out as different weeks. When you went to sleep and had that dream, it might have been a week before I had my dream. And this is another correspondence, how you can understand the spiritual world is different and your mind and your body ain't the spirit. So we choose forms, and sometimes we be in certain geographical locations in the spirit world that just because a group of spirits is there before you, don't mean that they was in this realm before you in a different world, aka a different mind, a different body, a different periodic table, a different alchemy and things of that nature. So this is how we could decipher with spiritual science how you could be born through parents, but spiritually you have more wisdom and you're more intelligent than your grandparents and your parents and shit like that. And then you have other descriptions where you're born by parents but they're still smarter than you, so that'd be vice versa. It wouldn't matter. But then you might have a childish ass grandma, so you more intelligent than your grandma but you ain't more intelligent than your mother or your father. So you see what I'm saying? This let you know how you have to separate. There's two different families, two different time zones, and one ain't even a time zone, two different circumstances. And when you understand spiritual science, you know how to blend them together so it can make sense. Because there would be no other reason we are experiencing it if it's something that don't exist. So when we come up with shit that try to make it make sense, but we don't have the words for it, it exists because we experiencing it. Same way with separation. When someone want to say, oh, there's a such thing as one spirit, one God bringing us all here. There's no such thing as that if there's a such thing as individuality. So anybody making up a story about, well, some God made it that way, or something. No, the only way there could be an individuality in all existence is a motherfucker wanting to go their own way. And they made up their own decision. Not something making the world that way and convincing the whole world that y'all need to stop thinking that way and that's your only way back to heaven. And that's all La La Land type shit. There will be no such thing as individuality. When that deity raises his arm, we all inside of it. Don't even think. We robots. We'll raise our arm at the same time. The mere fact that you have an individual thought, that's a whole thing in existence. Period. No other spirit gave you that. We all gave ourselves that. So in some layer, peeling somewhere, we created ourselves. You got to understand that. Now, if you want to do something for God, we bring God into existence. We bring this world into existence and things of that nature. Then we doing some powerful shit. Now, you can waste your time and not do nothing for God. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even talking about being messengers and shit like that. God don't give a fuck about none of that goddamn shit. God don't give a fuck about bringing something new. If you going to make something, at least make it about something. You know what I'm saying? And don't make it like keyword. Nothing else. And now we doing something for God. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Because you ain't gonna never see God. You know what I'm saying? That's too mysterious. For you to even try make a golem, what are you doing? Best your monkey ass could do is make an anthropomorphized concept, an allegory, or some shit like that. You doing the power God gave you. You know what I'm saying? Using the power God gave you. That's what you're supposed to do. Use your imagination. You know what I'm saying? God could be all things, all possibilities. God ain't never say limit that. You know what I'm saying? God ain't never say create no apologetics around that or no goddamn shit. God could be all things. You better use the power God gave you. All possibilities. You better think about all possible scenarios. Feel like it could be all possibilities in your fucking life. The moment you start getting limited, you shaking the hands with the devil. And we can see the devil every day. The devil got all kind of color spectrums. Purple universe, Lucifer, color spectrum, alienistic, UFO spaceships, sightings and shit. They're all fake shit. Lucifer is fake. Lucifer lied to the goddamn world and told y'all he was God. And he means light. He-Man. You know what I'm saying? Lucifer, a goddamn lie. And you got a bunch of men down here pandering as Lucifer, and they ain't nothing but a goddamn bunch of fallen goddamn angels. And they done made y'all a bunch of fallen goddamn angels. So y'all spirits don't know how to get out of that goddamn demonic state and get back to y'all angelic state and shit like that. So that's why I had to come back down here. You know what I'm saying? In this motherfucker shit. And a lot of y'all in the soul group. Because other than that, man, this world is lost. It's too many people down here that just cling on to the shadow government type shit and think that's normal and think we supposed to copy them and shit like that. But when you go back to your regular dream and you start to build your supreme household and things of that nature, that's you being invincible up there, and you're going to start being unconvincible down here because your right speculative energies, you're not able to be persuaded by the shadow government, based on having a true knowledge of where they even obtained their intellectual property to build their world with building blocks and atoms and shit. So once you go build your goddamn house and shit like that, you start to get up on the motherfucking porch, and then once you start to jump off the porch, it'll play out in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as you manifest in a lot of like-minded individuals. So really, when you start to dream, that's really like sometimes you can't remember who in your dream is you starting to build a neighborhood. You're jumping off the porch and you're in your yard and you're interacting with other spirits that got their house across the street, next door and shit like that. And for the most part, that little friendly neighborhood, the Rogers neighborhood, Mr. Rogers and them, right? It's actually in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as you starting to manifest and be around your tribe, your soul group. People beyond your living conditions or upbringing or your family, but people who resonate or willing to support you more and things of that nature. And they have things that you could support that resonate more than what you're doing. So therefore, that lets you know you're back to your spiritual family. And you're back as a spirit in your space before you got separate and got lost and got a job in Babylon and got lost with all your friends that became your family and bloodline and geographical location down here. Get what I'm saying? So once you go back to your true spot, and the spirit locations is different down here. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a whole different spiritual space than someone. We all in the same room, but we all in different spiritual spaces. So the states of awarenesses we creating, the spaceships, the minds, the chakras we creating is going to be from different areas. So when each spirit jump into their spaceship and then we all interact into the same environment with our body down here, we all got different things going on in our mind. Got one thief over here, one manipulative ass person over here, one egotistical person over here, one narc over here, you know what I'm saying? One naive person over here. Every spirit in a different space created different spaceships to fly down in their bodies in the same location to play out different characteristics. You see what I'm saying? And this how school get fucked up, job areas get fucked, the work field get fucked up, and things of that nature because there's no school for this spiritual science. Where if there's an actual school for spiritual science that got put into grade school and things of that nature, we will all have better character as humanity. We would like that word, even though we ain't human as far as us as soul group. But we will have more prestigious concepts of what to create to take us somewhere, because a spaceship ain't nothing but this body, and the first one is the mind, right? So we have to create a water cycle that will bend in on itself to create those organs for our spirit to go into that flesh to experience that star system, that water cycle. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you create a spaceship. Anything else is as concepts that Masons created, that's anthropomorphized, made up just for y'all to go make their movies blockbuster hits. But shit that your great-great-grandmother ain't never gonna see with her own two eyes, as the same as you ain't gonna never see with your own two eyes. Whether they talking about motherfucking Lucifer and what's ancient for the religion people and for the scientists and the atheists, the universe and aliens. You know what I'm saying? So they got religious people lost in Lucifer and ancient shit, and they got atheists lost in motherfucker the universe and aliens. And they didn't made a new man and woman out of atheists. Atheists are basically aliens. They don't have no spirit, so they don't believe in their spirit and things of that nature. So they don't believe in themselves. So they might think they believe in themselves, but their actions that they show when they claim that they believe in themselves is how hard they can regurgitate, how hard they can use somebody else's intellectual property, how much they can be agnostic and things and not know and things of that nature. So an atheist is technically a robot, an alien. They're foreign. They got foreign ideas about another religion that they put them in, the universe and alienistic energy and things of that nature. So, you know, an atheist is just as religious as a religious person. They don't think they are because they think that science is actually something serious. Science ain't serious just because you can make up things like we got light bulbs and technology and shit like that. As far as space science, being a goddamn astrophysicist and shit like that, you wasting your goddamn time. All of that is Bible witchcraft. You're going to see the same things when they start talking about quantum fields, universe, Big Bang, that you see within the religion and the Brahma religion and Christianity and things of that nature. So it's the same group of individuals that's running the world, creating these doctrines and filtering them through different forms of light: business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Now in education, you have science. So it's the universe and aliens. In religion, you have all the motherfucking goddamn gods coming down from space and things of that nature and shit like that, right? So they put baggage on astrology and the hieroglyphics and things of that nature due to the fact of, you know, the shadow government knowing y'all sheep and y'all can't think for yourselves. So that's why every time you see a music video, entertainment, or you see a movie, you're basically just seeing a Bible narrative, or you're seeing something from the Mesopotamian worship gods and Talmuds and things of that nature. And you're seeing these things being played out as a role play. And they're basically creating these things as narratives for us to watch and get abducted by that light in order for us to act in those characters. And this is how they built character, aka built new men and women, new thoughts and feelings to be participated and filtered through the dead flesh, the sheep, the male and female. So the male and female is what's dead. And they feel like they give us life with their light. And their light is bullshit because they think the stars and shit is moving to the right, and they got us lost in star formation. So they have everybody worshiping Lucifer, which is this world. We built this world from our mind, and the mind is the devil because it cling on to desires. The mind is full of thoughts and feelings, which are desires. And the spirit is supposed to be light and free and be willing to destroy these things at will and create these things at will. So death was never meant to be experienced as pain or physical or fleshly. You know what I'm saying? But based upon us following these lost fallen angels and things of that nature that fell into bodies to have the mind state to come up with a team to rule the world at the moment and things of that nature, then we fall short to the things that they fall short to due to the fact of wanting liberation and respiration, because they came up with an idea that they could be in some type of situation or a seat or a position, and you just want to be in a seat or a position like that. So your best way of thinking is copying them in their pyramid scheme and then claiming that they're copying, where the whole point to life and existence and purpose is to create a product, because that's how they're in position. It's not like the Jews, aka a fashion within government, went and cried somewhere and who they cried to gave them liberation. Their context of talking about liberation is liberating themselves, and that was the concepts that they had to destroy within themselves in order to put them in the right mind state to come together to build the civilization we are in today. So instead of you trying to copy and do things like them, you have to be as them, even if you are religious. Instead of trying to copy and be a follower and be like Jesus, you have to be as Jesus. Instead of trying to copy and try to follow and be like God, you have to be as God. You have to do as God. You see what I'm saying? So instead of trying to cry for liberation, thinking that's what they did, you have to liberate yourself. So for the most part, you create a civilization. You create a Vatican. You see what I'm saying? And some of the first tough things to do, y'all don't want to do it. As far as getting out of these businesses, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, or being able to transmute these things and rob them blind. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, if Kanye West was smart and things of that nature, he would shut the fuck up and take his and utilize his money and do things behind closed doors or do things up front that don't even have anything to do with Jewish culture in general, and be creating a culture. So before he know it, he would have a shoe, instead of his shoe having Reebok on it, he would have a shoe named Kanye West, and he would be able to sign other individuals. He would be able to sign me, and I would have a Kanye West shoe. Instead of Jordan being signed to Nike, you see what I'm saying? I could have my flight shoes up under Kanye West. You get what I'm saying? But motherfuckers don't know how to think like that. And that's the past shit. That's the shit I've been talking and kicking for the past 5 fucking years. I've been wearing all my own shit. And if it ain't meant, it ain't meant. So I ain't about to force myself to do other shit. But this is what the fuck we here to do. And the men is here to create the product, and the woman is here to make the product clean. So when a man is creating the product, but he don't have no feminine energy around and things of that nature, then he's creating a whole bunch of dirty product, a whole bunch of product that don't work. You know what I'm saying? That kitchen counter is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That microwave is dirty. You know what I'm saying? That stove is cluttered. Fire can't come through it and things of that nature. So that's when a man try to be too masculine and utilize both sides in his better male feminine energy and things of that nature. And then the female's supposed to keep things clean and it's motherfucker shit. But when the females don't have no masculine energies around, and we're just talking about energies at the moment, we all got these inside of us, but it'll manifest externally on a large scale anyway to help us produce our mass product if we're participating in God's way. But look, check this out. Like if a female, you don't have no masculine energy around you and things of that nature, then you're just cleaning a whole bunch of nothing. See what I'm saying? You're cleaning a whole bunch of nothing. Shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Cleaning up your emotions, cleaning up depression and shit like that. Things that need to be let go of any motherfucker way and shit like that. So for the most part, you're going to be left busy to devices that ain't got no business being left to. So you're going to find yourself being a neat freak, aka being extra uptight, being extra scared to take a leap, being extra scared to go ahead and do what you necessarily need to do in your motherfucking life and things of that nature. So a lot of times, that's how that may play out when you don't got no masculine energy around you. You're too